Hello students, in today's lecture we are going to discuss about how do metals react with solutions of other metal salts. So how metals react with the solutions of other metal salts. So this topic falls under the broader chapter metals and non-metals. Yes, you already know. In this today's lecture you will understand the displacement reactions and the reactivity series of the metals. So here we have we are given with a particular activity here. You can observe the activity here. So what is this activity? We take two test tubes. You can see clearly two test tubes are taken here. Two test tubes. In one test tube we place copper wire into a solution of iron sulfate. You can see here iron sulfate solution is taken here, and there you are putting the copper wire. In other test tube we place iron nail. So here iron nail is taken and copper sulfate solution is taken. We leave both for about 20 minutes and observe what happens. Now let me ask you. So in which test tube do you think a reaction occurs? So this you need to observe where reaction will occur. So yes, it's in the second one where the iron nail is placed. So when you place a iron nail in copper sulfate solution, we observe that the blue color of the copper sulfate fades and reddish brown deposit forms on the nail. That you can observe. So that deposit, what is the deposit? The deposit is copper. Okay, so you can observe that. So here why this happens? Because iron is more reactive than copper. So it displaces copper from its salt solution. This is known as displacement reaction. You already know about the displacement reaction. So here you can observe the same thing where a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal from its salt solution. That's what observed in this activity. The chemical reaction can be written as, so here if you observe metal A with the salt solution of B, then it will move, metal B will be extracted and salt solution of metal A will be formed. So the chemical reaction can be written as, here what is our chemical reaction? Iron nail is in the solid form and copper sulfate solution is in the aqueous form. So when both gets reacted, what is forming? Ferrous iron sulfate is getting formed, which is in the aqueous form, and copper is coming as a residue onto the iron nail, that is in the solid form. That is the reaction that is happening. So iron displaces copper from the copper sulfate, forming iron sulfate and copper metal. Now we are going to discuss about an important topic, that is reactive series. So what is this reactive series? So what is this reactivity series? All metals are not equally reactive, and the reactivity series arranges metals from least reactive to most reactive to least reactive. If you observe the upper metals, whatever we mentioned, they are most reactive, and coming to down the reactivity is getting decreased, and at the final stage you can see the least reactive metals. Metals like potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium and aluminium, if you observe, they are highly reactive, while copper, silver and gold are least reactive metals. Now we discuss these answers to these questions. First one, why is sodium kept immersed in kerosene oil? So sodium is, what is the answer for this one? Sodium is a highly reactive metal. You already know. It reacts quickly with oxygen and moisture in the air. If it is left in open air, it can catch fire spontaneously. So that's why, hence to prevent this accidental fire, sodium is stored under kerosene oil. This we need to be very careful while storing sodium. We cannot keep it just like that. So if you keep it like that, it will catch fire. That you have to understand. write equation for the second one. Write equation for the reaction of iron with steam. So iron reacts with steam to form iron oxide and hydrogen gas. This you already learnt. So now we write the equation iron reacting with steam. So that will give, this is steam. So you will get iron oxide Fe3O4 plus hydrogen. So this is a balanced chemical equation for iron reacts with steam to form iron oxide and hydrogen gas. Second one, calcium and potassium with water. So calcium reacts with slowly with cold water, producing calcium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Is it not? So how to write the equation? Calcium reacting with water H2O to get calcium hydroxide with hydrogen gas. So you can balance the equation like this. You can check it is balanced. Similarly, how the potassium will react? Potassium reacts violently with cold water, producing potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas with flames. So how to represent this? Potassium reacting with cold water, so it will generate potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas will be released. You can balance this chemical equation like this. So in the third question, coming to third one, samples of 4 metals A, B, C, D were taken and added to the following solution one by one. The results obtained have been tabulated as follows. So how many metals are taken? A, B, C, D. 4 metals we are taking, and we are showing that iron sulfate is taken, copper sulfate and zinc sulfate, silver nitrate. So first metal, no reaction, displacement like this, no reaction like this it is given. So use the table above to answer the following questions about the metals A, B, C, D. So which is the most reactive metal? So what will be your answer? Which is the most reactive metal? So if you observe, metal B is the most reactive because it displaces both iron and copper. You can see that. So it is displacing both iron and copper. So it is the most reactive metal. Which would be, you observe, if B is added to a solution of copper sulfate, what would you observe? If B is added to solution of copper sulfate, so what will you observe? So the blue color of copper sulfate fades and a reddish brown deposit of copper will be formed. So that you can observe. And third, arrange the metals A, B, C, D in the order of decreasing reactivity. So how you can arrange? So B is highest reactive, then you can see A is here displacement you can observe, then you can see next one, one reaction you can see, then D and finally C. Like this you can arrange how they are reactive, decreasing the reactivity. C is the least reactive. Coming to the fourth question, which gas is produced when dilute hydrochloric acid is added to a reactive metal? Write the chemical reaction when iron reacts with dilute H2SO4. So which gas is produced when dilute hydrochloric acid is added to a reactive metal? So you have to identify that hydrogen gas will be released or produced here. So here they are asking us to write the chemical reaction. So when iron reacts with, so iron is getting reacted with H2SO4 to generate FeSO4 plus hydrogen. This is the chemical reaction that happens. What would you observe when zinc is added to sodium solution of iron sulfate? Write the chemical reaction that takes place. So here zinc is more reactive than iron, that you know. So it displaces iron from iron sulfate. So a gray deposit of iron is seen and the green color of iron sulfate fades, that you can observe. So here zinc is getting reacted with iron sulfate to generate zinc sulfate and iron. So this will be the chemical reaction that you can observe. So in the third question also so if you have to identify if double displacement is happening, that is more reactive. Depending upon the displacement that is happening, you have to take your decision. So if no reaction at all, so least reactive will be D. So then one displacement with C, like that you have to take a decision from the table.